Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 245 of Show Free, where today we'll be going over episode 1173 of the One Piece anime. So, just to preface, like, the first 10 minutes of this episode are essentially worthless. I mean, they're not worthless, they're kind of drawn out a bit. We see as all of the phantasms and dream beasts summoned by Killingham's Devil Fruit ability start to spread throughout Elbaf. Everyone starts noticing them, they start causing some havoc. The kids getting let off, we see as this is noticed. We also see as Saul goes to try and save him, but ultimately he goes to grab him, and Sommer's thorns end up penetrating his hand. We're like, yo, what's happening here? And things should kind of play out like that. We see as everyone, like I said, starts to notice that the children are being taken away and that these phantoms are starting to take over the island. And we see all of them kind of reacting like, yo, my kid goes to the Walrus School. I need to get there. What's going on with Kiba, the director, and all of that? It's either Kiba or Kipa. I think it's Kipa. But yeah, so we kind of see as they all start to discuss that. We see as the Straw Hats kind of start to react to this, and everything kind of plays out. Now, then we end up getting to the last 10 minutes of this episode, which are very high quality. So we see as Loki's standing up, preparing to hit the Atom Tree with Ragnar. He's letting his hockey flow everywhere. Electricity is flying everywhere. And we see he's prepared to do this. And everyone's like, yo, we got to stop him. He can't be doing this. So ultimately, Luffy is put up to this task. And he ends up getting up there and Zoro's like, yo, dude, don't kill this dude. Don't go too crazy. Because if you do, then he'll die. And we need him alive. So, see, Luffy ends up jumping up in the air, goes Gear 3, and uses an air balloon punch on Luffy. Not Luffy, but Loki. And this attack does barely anything, but Loki is so damaged at this point that he just falls down. He's whooped. So, we then see as we kind of get a little bit more, I guess, conversation on Loki. We see how everyone's mentioned that if they end up taking him to the Sun World, then he'll likely be executed on the spot. And Luffy's like, I don't know why anyone would want to execute him that bad, but everyone starts to kind of, I guess, expound upon the idea that Loki is a scumbag. But yeah, so we also see just kind of some more general discussion on Loki, why he should be executed. And then we see as Harden ends up coming up, and Harden is speaking with Luffy because Luffy's like, yo, we can't kill him because he knows stuff about Shanks and about other things, so we need him alive so he can discuss this with us. That's why we got the key for him in the first place. So, kind of just talk about this, and then we see as they're like, okay, we'll heal up Loki. So Loki ends up getting some medical attention from Gerd. They got like 18 blood bags on him. It's actually like 5. But we see as he gets all good and wrapped up. We also see as Zoro, Goldberg, and Sanji end up going to hunt for a wolf. And we get the moss head and curly brow gag between Sanji and Zoro. And then we end up heading back where we see as Harden kind of starts standing over Loki. And he reminisces on how Loki has treated him. So we see as we get a flashback, actually. First we see Harden discuss Harold, which is Loki and Harden's father, and Harden being an illegitimate child, while Loki is technically the heir to all of Elbaf, since he is legitimate. And they kind of discussed this, and we also see how Harold tasked him with defending the land of Elbaf after his death, ultimately. And we then see as in their childhood, Loki kind of bullied Harden around, kind of insulting him for being illegitimate and everything. And this stuck with Harden. And so after that, we see as Harden ends up raising his axe in the modern era, preparing to lop off Loki's head. But then Loki ends up waking up enough to speak. And here he declares, you really thought that I killed our father for no reason, just out of my own volition? And Harden pauses because of this. So, we know that Loki likely did not kill Harold out of his own vitriol. Now, if you are a manga reader, you obviously know the answer to this, but if you're anime only, and that's what I try and keep, I guess, spoiler minimum on these, because I have read all the manga, I'm completely caught up, and I just like to keep it for the anime onlys. If the anime onlys are watching, I don't want to spoil anything for them, because a lot of interesting stuff is to come. So that is where the episode ends, with Loki kind of revealing this. Now, I am really excited for episodes to come, because we're growing very close to a super cool, I guess, mini arc in the Elbaf arc, or it's not necessarily a mini arc, it's a flashback. Now, the flashback that's coming up is genuinely one of the best in all of One Piece history, and I cannot wait to see how it looks in the anime, because there's so many hype moments in it. I just pray that it's done wonderfully. I mean, heck, this episode was done wonderfully, and it wasn't really that much of an action-packed episode, so I don't know what it is, but their animation quality is somehow continuing to improve, even though it was already phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see where we go with very, very cool scenes that are to come. So, Toei just needs to keep it up. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, but during all that stuff that happened, the first 10 minutes, we see as the Holy Knights are having a little meal to the Gunko, Summers, and Killingham. And one thing that I like that Toei has done with Gunko is they've kept her modest and kept everything normally sized, which is surprising, but she just looks like a normal woman, which is great. Like, I'm so glad that Toei is not going down the Nami route or Robin route, or heck, even like a Rebecca route with Gunko. I'm super glad about that, and I hope that we continue to get women designs like this, because they did good on not accentuating her, that is to say. So yeah, that's all that really was for episode 1173 of the One Piece anime, and that's all I really have for episode 245 of Shelf Review. So, thank you very much for watching.